Christopher Columbus did it in a boat. Phineas Fogg did it in 80 days. Richard Branson tried to do it in a hot air balloon. But none of them did it with 3 baby boys. Introducing the world's youngest explorers, 11-month-old twin boys, Ollie and Max, and their younger brother, Freddie. Join them and their loving parents, Wilco and Anya Drew, as they set out on their 12-month adventure around the world. Together, they are 4 men and a lady.
We were 2 people happy, traveling around the world, visiting all these places about which we only heard. We count these 3 little passes that'll change our lives for good, and our travel plans continue with a slightly heavier load. And we are 4 men and a lady. Some people think we're crazy, as long as we got each other, we'll be 4 men and a lady. We'll be 4 men and a lady. We'll be 4 men and a lady.
Today is the end of our 7 days in San Francisco, but tomorrow's the beginning of our journey as we pick up our RV, recreational vehicle, and start our drive of 3,500 miles to the Atlantic coast. But before we do that, I need to go and check out some camping supplies to make sure that we stay safe and warm on our trip. Never knew there were so many types of sleeping bags you could choose from. It's outrageous. Mummy and Daddy, Ollie, Max and Freddie. I'm starting to get really scared imagining the kids wrapped up in one of these in the middle of a night when we've broken down on some Yosemite pass. Ouch. Just in case we take a wrong turn and end up in Antarctica, not Texas. The jet lag's still with me. I can't be bothered to shop anymore, even though it's such an exciting place. I've had up to here with camping this and camping that crap. I'm done. And because it's super easy, American style, you can just get everything delivered straight to your front door. No need to take anything with you.
Freddie and I are on our way to the RV station. We're going to check out what our new home for the next 2 months is going to look like. I'm a bit scared. Wilco has sorted out all the camping gear, so it's my job to do the RV. I'm petrified. Wow. Look at this, boys. This is what we're going to be driving. It's pretty good for some storage. space. Oh my God.
The internet is full of RV rental sites and deals. There are all types of vehicles for hire, from little pickup trucks to huge palaces on wheels. Our 32-foot rig is about mid-range. It can sleep 7 at a squeeze and cost us about $70 a day. Not bad, considering it's the car and accommodation for a family of 5.
Wow. That's pretty good. That's like a really nice loo. This truck is massive. It's really long.
The rental deal comes with all you need: plates, knives, forks, pots, pans, and they even gave us a DVD that tells us how to drive this thing.
Safely.
Yeah.
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 Okay, will you put a seatbelt on, please? No? My first impressions of the RV are actually not too bad. It is going to be quite tight, so I think we might have to use our tent outside a lot. But if it's raining, we all can squeeze in. I'm sure we will. It's not too bad. The kitchen's great. I'm really excited about the kitchen. Really excited about the bathroom and the shower. Look really good. The rest, it'll be cozy. We'll see. Freddie, keep on driving, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, driving.
Yeah.
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 You drive me. Go, drive to Orlando. Well, we've got the accommodation. We've got our RV. We just have to figure out how to drive this thing.
Camping gear's arrived. Load 1 anyway. It's packing up and moving on for the last time in a while. We've got to get out of this cab again in an hour's time, but then it's the RV for the next 8 weeks. This is for the bedroom. It's just full of nice lacy negligees of onions. What have you got in here, love? Although there is plenty of space, it's important to remember that the more you load the RV, the more it has to haul, and that means more petrol costs. I'm feeling good. You good, Lane?
I'm nervous. I'm fine. Yeah, no, I'm fine.
You're a brilliant driver. You're used to driving on this side of the road.
Yeah.
Hold on, kiddies. We're off. Amazingly, we ummed and ahed about buying a sat-nav unit for our trip, as it cost about $140, but we must have saved that money in petrol in the first week by not getting lost, and not having to rely on a map reader probably saved us our marriage as well. The
whole of the USA is so jacked up for RVs. Even parking here at a pretty normal looking supermarket, there are special RV bays.
So it turns out Mum's allowed to drive the RV, but Dad only gets to drive one of these because he's not trusted. Everything here comes in small, medium and massive size. Check out these tortillas. Unbelievable. Just looks obscene stuff this size. Good value though.
The really lovely thing about our RV was its huge gas and electric fridge freezer. This meant that we could stock up and keep almost a full week's of groceries on board.
That's it. I think we've got everything we need for the next 5 days.
All from the friendliest supermarket I've been to in my 36 years.
Although we needed more regular milk stops, as the boys guzzle about 7 pints, that's about 3 litres of cow juice, every single day.
We're on the 4th season of our day today. We started off with our spring, which was San Francisco, the most beautiful city which we left over the magical bridge. Then we headed out into Citrus World, where we saw superb fruit trees and the almond groves that made these, chap. You can have one here. And then from there, we moved into Tumbleweed Zone, really dusty, all looks scraggly like this guy's hair. And now, everywhere you look, pine forests. Beautiful. What a magical drive.
Incredibly, within just a few hours of leaving densely populated San Francisco and the greater Bay Area, we had already hit some beautiful and remote countryside on our way to our first night stop at Yosemite National Park.
Welcome to Yosemite. Have a great time.
After a pretty easy rolling 200 miles, we pulled in through the gates of Yosemite, but we were still not there. Yosemite is huge, and it has about the same length of tarred roads within it as we had travelled from San Francisco. Over 300 kilometres of beautiful, magical, scenic drives. It's 10 to 7 at night. Anya's done a brilliant job getting us here safely, easily. Well, easy for us because we just hung around, and the kids were terrific. Really been a great day compared to what it could have been, and I'm feeling really good about the next 3,500 miles as well. But it's time to go and get some shut eye.
Good morning, Yosemite National Park. Wow. Oh, we got here last night and it was pretty warm when we got in, huh?
But boy, was it cold at night. I was freezing.
You can even see your breath now, look. Anyway, they promised it was going to warm up, so let's go and check out this monster Californian tourist destination. Happy, boys?
Reading up on the bears here, what to do when you encounter one. It says scare them away. Yeah, right.
It doesn't actually, it says bang pots and sing loudly. That's what our kids do all day long.
Brown and rainbow fishing is a wonderful thing to do in Yosemite if you haven't got 3 babies with you. And pretty straightforward once you've got your Californian fishing permit, which you can just get online.
It's amazing how clear the water is. I've never seen anything like it. It's so still and so beautiful. I'm desperate to do some fishing, but I guess I'll have to wait.
Don't be fooled by the size of the maps. Yosemite is a big national park. And to get around it, you can either grab your crampons and your mountaineering gear or put your walking boots on and start hiking.
No way I'm doing that with kids. Way.
If you've got a lot of kids, or for disabled access, however, there's a great park shuttle service that links the beginning and end of all of the trails and hikes.
First stop, the visitor centre, where we're going to get ourselves a nice map. Come on, Freddie.
One of the brilliant things about Yosemite is how it's laid out. Museums, visitors centres, and this, the Indian village with a self-guided walk through it, is just one of so many well thought through attractions for tourists here.
This is just like our tent. Maybe a little bit warmer even.
The 3D model at the Yosemite Village Visitor Center is really the best place to understand where you are and the whole range itself. We're going to be basing ourselves down here in the valley because it's flat and it's easiest part with kids, but most of the adventurous people around here have got their crampons on and their walking boots and are making their way up to the tops of some of these peaks and the most beautiful waterfalls.
The entire park is a sprawling wilderness of evergreen forests, alpine meadows, walls of imposing rock, all wrapped around a conveniently flat and easy to walk valley floor.
In winter and spring, the big cliff face behind us is the main draw card for Yosemite National Park. It's where thousands of feet of water come crashing down and form the Yosemite Falls. But this time of year, one's just left with that magical, huge granite facade. It's not until you get up close onto the old riverbed that's dried up this time of year here that you realise that all these pebbles are actually beautiful chunks of granite. If we filled up the kids' backpacks, we could probably get ourselves a new kitchen work surface out of this lot.
The scenery all around has a very Swiss mountain feel to it, and although only a tiny 19th century chapel remains from the original village, we still kept feeling like we were on the set of The Sound of Music.
Right in the middle of the meadowlands is this fantastic little chapel. It looks like something out of Little House on the Prairie. But anyway, in just 7 days' time, Anya and I will be in our own little chapel in Las Vegas, redoing our wedding vows.
Yippee!
time to get our skates on and get back to the RV, because the weather, she's a coming in, and I think there might be snow on its way.
Cold.
Now that is starting to warm up at last.
Kids are asleep.
The smell of the pines and a glass of red wine in our hands.
But it is bloody freezing. It even snowed today.
Yeah, it is. It'd actually be quite nice to get somewhere a little bit warmer.
On that note.
Cheers. The snow did shut the pass last night, lad. We're going to have to find another route.
It's almost unbelievable that a road can be closed by snow just a few hundred miles from Death Valley, one of the hottest places on our planet. But that's what 13,000 feet or 4,000 meters of altitude ups and downs does, and also why this area is so beautiful and varied.
Driving out of the park via Wawona, because the Tioga Road was closed, meant that we get a chance to stop off here and see the amazing giant sequoia trees. So it's 2 hours extra on our journey, but a wonderful upside. Check these out.
Sequoia trees, often known as redwoods, can live for up to 2,000 years and grow as high as 40-story buildings. Some are 4 times as wide as our RV, with bark 12 inches, that's 30 centimetres thick.
The giant sequoia groves need fires to help them with the spreading and the germination of their seeds. But when, like this tree, they fall over because of winds, it's too tough for the National Park Services to chop them up and take the load out. So they just burn them while they're on the ground. The mile hike up to Big Grizzly Sequoia was really worth it, but this guy is really pissed off now, so it's the end of our little journey and time to get back in the RV.
Pretty quickly, trees started to fade by the roadside as gradually we started to enter the moonscape of Death Valley, so near and yet so far from the lush greens of more central California. What should have been just a 5-hour drive became 6 and then 7, and after 8, the glory of RV life was evident. Just pull over, you are driving your hotel, chill out and roll again in the morning. Death Valley is 100% full of nothing. It's amongst the hottest, most barren, nature-free place in the world, and that's exactly why it's so magical.
There's only 2 hardcore members of our expedition. That's me and Max. Mum, Ollie and Freddie don't like the cold very much, so they're hauled up in the RV there. We've come out, we're at about 3,500 feet, that's about 1,000 meters high, looking over Death Valley. The sand down there looks like a sea. It's absolutely beautiful. Can you say wow, Maxie? Wow. That's right, wow.
Wow.
It has tons of wonderful nothingness to offer, and that ensures that your contemplative enjoyment and inner self get a thorough workout. One thing you want to make doubly sure of in Death Valley is that your petrol dial is maxed, as this is no fun place to run out of gas, and there are very few places to refill. There are lots of rules about animals in Death Valley. First off, watch out for the snakes. Then make sure you're not worried about rats, and if you are, it's okay, because the snakes will normally eat them.
I feel like a very lucky person quite often, but it's at moments like this, sat with my son, just hanging out, looking at the beautiful landscape, that I really count my lucky stars. It's time to put a bit of distance behind us and get this road on the show.
Death Valley is an odd place. Its name and 3 million acres of nothing also do nothing to self-promote this remarkable corner of our planet. Outside of the punishingly hot summers, the climate and locals are both very warm, and the nature and biodiversity second to none. If you bring your pets with you, be sure to let them in your tent or RV at night, because coyotes, well, they just love an evening meal of dog left tied up outside a camper van. As natural sand pits go, it doesn't get much better than Death Valley.
We just found this most brilliant sand pit for the kids. We're just here on the side of the road and we saw these beautiful, beautiful dunes, and the boys are now playing in them. It's just brilliant.
Just over half a mile hiking in pretty tough conditions from where we parked the RV to here, a natural bridge. It's kind of spectacular, but it looks like the sort of bridge my cousin Jakey the builder might have put together. This area just behind me is Badwater, and it's one of the lowest places in the world, at about 300 feet below sea level, and temperatures, get this, regularly, not occasionally, exceed 50 degrees Celsius, that's 120 Fahrenheit, throughout the summer. One of the lowest, hottest places on the planet. So after an episode of great purity, national parks, through sequoias and right into Death Valley, it's time for us to go over a little bit to the dark side. As Anya drives into the moon and the sun sets behind us, we find our way to the slippery slopes of Vegas town.
But just a quick question, with kids and bears and stuff, do I have to be careful with snacks and, with them?
No, you're fine. Just don't leave, your backpack unattended if there's food in there. No, you'll be fine. And if you see a bear, just keep your distance.
Right, okay. Not run.
If it's on a trail, just go around it if you can. If it gets too close for comfort, just clap your hands and
And shout.
Bear. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Wave your baby around.
Here.
Big.
Have it.
No, I didn't